After billions of requests, I finally got a chance to watch the series, which I was late on watching. I know I'm late, don't judge me. Finally got to watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. I enjoyed it. It was about this being known as AANG, the Avatar. This is a universe where everybody in the universe could do some sort of bending, basically, different villages, airbending, firebending, earthbending, all that good stuff, right? But the Avatar, a being that keeps getting reincarnated over and over again in different body with different memories and mind and body and stuff, but can talk to its other ancestors spiritually. Yeah, it was a boy named Aang. He was the last airbender. Oh boy, is he powerful. But at the moment, he only know how to airbend. He had to go around the world to learn the other bending arts, if that makes any sense, right? They had to go against this Fire Lord nation. Fire Lord was very strong, stuff like that. But before I go any farther, thank you all that have donated to the channel. Appreciate it a lot. So there was like this 12-year-old monk, right? The Avatar has a sole duty to maintain balance between the four nations. He didn't like his role at first. There was literally a war with the Fire Nation being like some dictator type stuff. In the process of training to learn the elements and be better as the official Avatar of the world, he ended up forming a little family. Even as being known as Talk, was really good at earthbending, waterbender, and even a firebender. But let's get right into it. How strong was he? This show, blast power is everything. Physically, of course, he's not going to be the most impressive. His most impressive feats are the amount of blast power he can produce with his different elements and how he can bend them to his will to project them in a form of attack. That makes sense? Let's get it. He has this whistle. He can literally summon a literal flying sky bison. That one time he summons a large variety of animals like that, helping from all directions. One of his standard equipment is the staff. Use this to block attacks with. He can expand it into like a glider for like some flight, along with airbending, of course, on top of this. Respect it. It's pretty freaking strong. Look at this large boulder he's lifting on his back, training with tall earthbending. He breaks this off to throw it like that, airbending on top of it. Swings it like that. It's just straight striking power. Look how hard he can punch, sleep deprived, shaking the leaves off. Might I add, he trained for hours. He could do like minor levitation, and one could say his jumping feats and stuff like that could be amped because of his airbending to be able to launch him in the air. Like being able to jump several meters in the air. Look how high he can jump like that. He can travel by quickly moving across the surface of the water like that, even though it's just kind of like a gag moment. His sprinting speed is pretty quick thanks to him being able to airbend and increase his raw speed. Look how he does the running like that. Like, you see that? Look at his speed here, just to give you an idea of his raw speed. Boom, causing collateral from the raw speed. He created a whirlpool by running along the surface of the water, like against this creature like this. This dude got in too many battles with Zuko, guys, to the point it's not even funny. Reacting to him on different occasions, reacting to characters like Azula, top tier firebenders. There's this being known as Combustion Man that was after him. Literally makes things explode. Was able to sense him on the spot, react to him. He can react to arrows, blocks them, air shield. He's not ashamed to use his elemental abilities in defense, like these water walls or cutting a ship. He countered an explosion with air and can move that with earthbending. Like that. Boom. He even can catch himself with air when he falls. Like that. You have to consistently be able to react to lightning, Fire Lord fight. See what I'm saying? React to it mid-flight. Let's talk about his blast power. Was able to blast this projectile with his airbending like that. He even deflected this large fireball. Having airbending, one can say he got like a form of telekinesis. He was able to lift this thing up just by blasting it back. Get back. Saber-tooth moose lion. I know. Giant serpents gets blasted back. And these two large doors, he just blasts them off. Bruh just be blowing people through the doors, just blowing multiple. This hallway gets a gust of air after he's surrounded by a whole bunch of flames. Blast power. Blast Zuko back like that through the house. Blast away tanks. I would definitely say he can blast away some buildings with just this casual level of force. He knocks out 4 men by literally colliding their heads together. And he's not no normal man either. You know what I mean? Respect it. He even uses air to slice columns. It's like a literal blade of air. He even can create tornadoes and throw it at his opponent like that. Combustion Man. Another occasion of using his air as blades, like cutting vines in this occasion. He's one of those characters that got stronger as time goes by, even to the point where in his base state, he could kind of give the Fire Lord himself, one of the strongest beings in this universe when it comes to firebending, a run for the money. I haven't gotten to the Avatar state, but give me some time. I'm going to get into the Avatar state, but this guy was one of the strongest beings in this world. There was this comet that was enhancing firebenders. Aang was able to match this being while the comet was here, countering his fire in the process, shielding against his fire and his attacks, like that. Another occasion of him creating a tornado. Look at that. Literally created a tornado. And it countered it and threw it back. He could make like air shields to block attacks during his melee combat. See what I'm saying? Like that. Boom. He does push-ups with his breath. Funny. He creates like this wind tunnel that spits out projectiles like that, like a literal wind tunnel construct to blast people. Look, he freezed all this large amount of lava. Take a look at that blast power. Boom. Look at that radius. Look what he does to this chain, like that. And it was not water bending when he did this. He did this so it will snap upon impact. Water benders can also freeze stuff too, but like that. He can even create air bubbles underwater where he can just be chilling underwater without having to worry about suffocating. Even if you manage to break the bubble, he can recreate it so he ain't just gonna be like about to drown. He should do this more often, but technically he can create it like a concentrated tornado to do like straight up flying without necessarily having a glider. You see what I'm saying right here? Without his glider. Let's go over his water bending. Like he can literally water bend where he can do like some ice manipulation. Like in plenty of occasions, freezing water around several men, just literally freezing stuff. He can freeze underwater targets. He can create waves strong enough to wash men on board. Don't fight these guys in the ocean, guys. Remember that time he made an ice shield to block himself from arrows? Like, look at these little water tentacles. Very versatile in combat during the training sessions. And I'm bringing back the Fire Lord again. Use the water against the Fire Lord. Like that water, obviously, water bending. He can water bend and he basically can manipulate ice. Or create ice, basically. Bending the water into ice, if that makes sense. Being amped up to a certain degree, he can make a large wave to surf on. Like that. Respect it. He actually frozen with water and ice to shatter it. He can bend a big mass of water, like that much water. Like, look at that. Radius. He could give himself footholds, like freezing this water like that. He was falling against the Fire Lord. He used water to bend his fall like that. Propels himself across the surface. Thanks to his awesome blind teacher that can use the vibrations in the ground to earthbend and sees things in her environment. She was a great teacher for AANG. Earthbending gets fun. Thanks a lot, Toph. Fun fact about AANG's earthbending. It was his most struggled thing to learn, but it also constitutes the AANG's most direct defense. One could debatably say this is his form of most powerful offense because he can create like super giant boulders in his attacks. Like big boulders like this. You know what I mean? Another example, boulder. He even threw so many stones would help take down an airship. See what I'm saying? Like, boom, boom. During the Fire Lord fight, again, look at this large section of stone he was able to throw. This level of earthbending meaning that AANG could move a piece of rock that's as big as Blue Whale based on this. That kind of gives you an idea of AANG's blast power being in the 180 tons level range, just being able to move this piece of mass of rock in his fight with Fire Lord. Look at this large landmass with earthbending. He can like bind people with like earthbending too. Like the time he binded a man's hands together, traps soldiers, earthbending, pulls the earth up around a man to encase him in stone, just trapping him. Keep in mind that AANG is a pacifist type of character, so him beating all these people, just keep in note that he's doing this stuff with the intent of not even trying to kill. Keep that in your mind. It's just when you got this many elements on your side, you can create ripples in the earth like that to take out a bunch of folk with ease, making large columns from the ground, blocks that. And when it comes to defense, these earth defenses or barriers are really good against fighting fire folk, like Azula, for example. Look at this large column of earth, like that, to defend himself. Fun stuff like literal armors. Tell me that isn't cool. Rock Hand, during this occasion, made an armor from crystals, like a literal battle suit. Stone armor, Combustion Man, protects him against projectiles. He even made armor against the Fire Lord himself in the heat of combat, protect him against fire. Creates this big old stone spear to protect himself in his fight with the Fire Lord. Again, it's a pattern. Earthbenders, y'all need to stop it. He the king of it. Boom, get out my way. Smash through. He doesn't need to see. He learned Toph's seismic vision, basically, to be able to avoid stuff without actually seeing it. It's really used in conjunction with his hearing, like Daredevil stuff. He created like his cool little totem here, used to meditate out of earth. A lot of options of mobility. He can just surf on the moving ground of earth. You see what I'm saying? And of course he has fire bending as well. Practicing with his arch foe, they ended up being cool, long story short. Rarely ever uses it because fire is very destructive. He accidentally burnt somebody he loves. I definitely did ship them too. Firebending, baby. Juggling. Too much area of effect. His firebending blast power got so strong to where even though earthbending usually be countering fire, he was able to blast through stone like that. Respect the blast power, right? Creates like 3 simultaneous flames like that. In his mouth, yeah, 3 different flames. Not only is he able to react to lightning, but he can send it back. Respect it. This show has a lot of spirit stuff, meditation type stuff in it because he's a monk. Kind of like that, right? So he can kind of communicate with the spirit world. Yeah, he's entered the spirit world a few times and he's communicated with the past avatars from the spirit world so they can kind of aid him in his past lives, even though they're all technically him with just different lives, right? Connect with this tree, like some spiritual stuff to find others. Like, you see what I'm saying? How you can just connect. So he can find his friends. This is one of the reasons why he's gotten stronger throughout the series. He can speak to the past avatars, those that might have more experience than him. At first, he would accidentally speak to him, but at where he actually got to the point where he can just kind of do it at will. He can even see spirits when others can't see it. That's how in tune he is to the spirit world. And here's an occasion of him crossing over to the spirit world via meditation. His body is straight up immobile and unaware of what's going on while he's in this state, though. All this stuff I showed you was his base state, but his ultimate mode, a mode that he only could access during rage or suffering at moment. He eventually did gain control of the avatar state, overpowered state. The avatar state literally utilizes the knowledge and experience of all past avatars and or the avatar's unique spiritual entity to increase mastery of the bending arts beyond what is otherwise possible. He can now, most of the occasions of him is where he didn't know how to control it, but he can enter in and out of it like Super Saiyan forms.
The avatar state is a defense mechanism designed to empower you with the skills and knowledge of all the past avatars. The glow is the combination of all your past lives, focusing the energy. You are at your most powerful. If you are killed in the avatar state, the reincarnation cycle will be broken, and the avatar will cease to exist.
The problem is with that, about him ceasing to exist, is the fact that literally nobody in the entire series, as far as I've watched, I haven't watched Korra yet, Legend of Korra, that nobody can really even stand a chance against him. Not even the freaking Fire Lord when amped. So it's just broken. So on top of him having the knowledge and experience of all the avatars and stuff, and power, obviously, the reason why he's so powerful is because there's also cosmic forces at play, explained right here.
Let the pure cosmic energy flow.
During the avatar state, he's got so powerful, normally it would take a whole fleet to take out something. Aang could do it by himself in this avatar state, just on a totally different level. Like an example of it being here, like it's little glimpses of his raw power. He just completely jumps out of these people's leagues. This is on freaking episode 2. They ain't ready. Curb stomps them all. Too freaking powerful. Avatar state. Melts the chains. He appeared to be the other avatar in this appearance. He did like some lava bending. Like, you see this? All of that. Everybody had to freaking run for the hill. All this stuff was happening. He was getting overwhelmed. Ends up entering the avatar state. All this water around him. Saves all of them who was about to drown. Gets them to safety. At one time, he literally merged with the ocean spirit, becoming a literal kaiju creature. Avatar state. Fire blast wasn't nothing. He could take on armies of things. It just didn't matter. Too much power. Tanks getting wiped away. Fleets. Ships. Gets tossed. Too easy. Slice. Slice. The fleet of battleships literally wasn't ready. He was water bending and everything. Too much power. Keep in mind, these are avatar states where he didn't have control yet. He accidentally caused major harm when he's out of control. Look at all that impact he can do. All of that. But he eventually does gain control, and he's just too much for even a freaking Fire Lord that's amped. Deflects his fire attack out of nowhere. Too strong. Blasts him back. Easy. Overwhelming him. In this new gain control avatar state, he becomes godlike, where he literally combines all the elements into one by literally creating a bubble around himself of all the elements. Water, fire, earth, and wind. Tell me he doesn't look like a force of nature like this. All the elements. Durability, defense, and offense. Blitzing in the process. No match. Like, he just too destructive. In this state, can literally like just basically fly. Brrr. Seriously, this fight was like one-sided. Get murked. Water. He just tanks all of his attacks. None of his fire attacks even work. Moves pillars out the way. You gotta keep him on the ropes. Just using all the elements to his advantage. Blast. While the Fire Lord's on the race, he's chasing him. You want to see his devastating power in the avatar state? Look at that big old slice he does on the planet. Like, it does this to the entire city. He was even able to fight using a giant golem that he made out of freaking earth, fighting the giant spirit. Yep, he literally created it from the freaking earth, defeating the being, the giant spirit, in the process. Avatar state. Respect it. Here's another angle of the size. Yeah. Avatar state, crushes boulders, binds a woman in ice. Oh, by the way, he has the ability to energy bend thanks to this avatar state at the end of the series. He even did this against the Fire freaking Lord. It was an alternative so he wouldn't have to kill him because of his passive nature, didn't want to actually murder him. And because it's a kid's show. So Aang is a beast, but there was a point where he did indeed grow up. It's a safe assumption that he's gotten stronger over the years as an adult, right? Just like the other avatars got stronger as they grew up, right? So all this stuff is with him when he's young so far. Even though I gotta admit, he has very little showings as an adult. Well, he can outpace like a little cart, Kinda can still levitate with his airbending here. Don't sleep on adult Aang. I mean, young Aang in his base state can flip over a giant drill. So whatever young Aang in his base without avatar state can do, the adult Aang can do better. He was getting blood bent right here. But when he entered avatar state, it was just over. And he can still get rid of your bending. Notice how he's just able to enter avatar state like at will and just resisted the blood bending just instantaneously. So how much blast power does Aang actually have? Well, there's a few ways you can look at it. You know, knowing that he's the avatar, he should be comparable to other adult avatars from the past. So whatever they can do when it comes to blast power, Aang should be able to do something similar or around that same level, right? He can't be millions of times weaker, obviously, right? He's the main character, right? Adult Aang should be able to do stuff like that, all that magma. So normal Aang could blast away buildings depending on which one he wants to use. Wind, earth, fire, either way, he can blast away buildings in his base. Avatar state, he should be able to at least level a city based on what other avatar characters could do. Like Kyoshi, for example, who was able to separate an island with her blast power in avatar state.
We split from the mainland. We split from the mainland. We split from the mainland.
Because she's literally just another past life of Aang. Look at that blast power. Aang can do this because he's just a reincarnation of her. Look at that blast power. It's literally just one of his past lives. He should be able to do this as well. He has all the past avatars' knowledge, including hers. And she can do this with her blast power. There's more lore. You can read all of this. It stated here, Avatar started hurling land masses left and right. Not to mention, he should be comparable to his successor, Korra, from The Legend of Korra, which I haven't started at the moment yet. He should be comparable to characters like this' blast power as well. Never forget that Korra can deflect an energy cannon that's like city-shattering level. Respect that power. Check out the area of effect. Enough said. Yeah. So you got that island splitting feat by other past avatars that's literally a reincarnation of Aang. And then you got the fact that Korra, the successor of Aang should be comparable to that in avatar state. That's just giving an idea of the cosmic forces they are enabled. So Aang should be able to blast away a city if he felt like it. But what do you guys think? Post your comments down below. Let me know what you all think. He's fast enough to react to lightning. That means he's massively hypersonic when it comes to fighting speed or reaction time. You remember, lightning can go at 224,000 miles per hour. You guys finally glad that I did this after a billion requests. I didn't think I was going to get around to it, honestly, but I got done watching the show and I enjoyed it. But what do you guys think? Post your comments down below. Let me know what you all think. How much blast power do you think Aang can blast with the Avatar? Respect Aang, the last Airbender. Until next time.